One of our more modern philosophers that's referred to by the single moniker Dalton, as it's covered so well in the documentary from 1989 called Roadhouse, gives us a very simple but poignant direction in his general thoughts on how to interact with other human beings. Be nice. Be nice. Welcome to Guitar Vacation. This video was inspired after I watched a video by a YouTuber that I really like. I've been watching his stuff for a long time. His name is Kyle Bull, and I'll link to his channel and the video that inspired me to talk about this down in the description. But you know, Kyle is a guy that demos a lot of cool gear, and he does so in a manner with a lot of positivity, what I perceive to be a lot of honesty, and he's not always just demoing the hot new shiny thing. He's bringing out your old PVs and stuff like that. Anything that he can show us that can be referred to make heavy tones. He's your guy to watch, and his presentation is a lot of fun. You know, I don't really go after metal tones, but I watch the videos because I am generally interested in a lot of the gear, and B, because I just think he's really a positive guy that loves music, loves guitar, and loves guitar gear, and you know, in that sense, it's just entertainment that I appreciate, that feels genuine. In following Kyle's videos, especially here lately, he's been at this YouTube guitar game for a long time. He's also, to me, displayed things that just not make me worry, but just are kind of a shame. You know, he's admittedly slowed down his output because he's a little burnt out, and you know, he's got some really positive things going on in his personal life that are part of that. But the video I watched today, really what I was picking up was he's genuinely feeling some of the negativity, knocking guys doing guitar type content on YouTube. Now, any idiot with a camera or a phone and a guitar can make a channel on YouTube that's a guitar YouTube channel. That's why I'm here. But as it ties back into the overall perspective, first I'll say, yeah, there's a billion guitar YouTube type channels out there. Some are great, particularly the best part of guitar YouTube is when you can dive into that obscure niche, and there's some guy that has treaded the road you're going down already, and it's something that, you know, a fraction of a percent of guitar players cares about, but you're able to go in fully informed, following the path that's already been trailblazed by this one guy. That's pretty cool to me about guitar YouTube. On the other hand, yeah, there's a certain phenomenon. It comes, you see it with new releases and stuff like that, where everybody's on the same page. We know the release date, and we're all going to release videos on this new piece of gear at the same time. And you know, that creates a little bit of a perception of our these guys shilling for companies? Are they being honest about what they're talking about, or their opinions on the gear? And there's variations all across the board. There are guys that have complete integrity and will tell you, good, bad, or otherwise, whether they're being paid or compensated in some way by the company or not. And there are guys that just crank out propaganda. And you as the viewer need to watch and, use engagement of your rational thought process. And it's pretty easy to figure out who's who and whose word you can trust. Then we have the other aspect of the demos we're hearing. How well produced are they? How much studio magic goes into them? And that's also a double-edged sword, because a really good content creator is gonna have good production, and his stuff is gonna sound better than what I'm doing right now. Is that a downside because you're hearing this pedal or this amp with a bunch of studio magic and not getting an accurate portrayal of what it's gonna sound like in your bedroom? Those are all valid thoughts. I think as a guitar player, consumer, or viewer, or whatever you want to call it, you have to engage your intellect in what you're seeing and what you're hearing, and identify what you can take from the particular channel or video you're watching. And in the end, you're only going to be able to make it sound as good as you can play in your own little guitar dungeon. And that's more important than any of the production or magic that goes into making these videos. Obviously, if the gear can be made to sound good by somebody who's a good guitar player that is experienced in making content, then it can sound good. Whether that's right for you, you have to self-assess and say, hey, where am I at in that ability to execute, and how valid is the opinion or the message from this video apply to what I do based on my ability, my resources, and how I'm going to use whatever it is that's being advertised. I'm kind of have a foot on both sides. I'm a guy that's going to be posting in the cork sniffer forums about the minutia gear. I enjoy it. I enjoy the discussions. I learn from it. A lot of what I know now is because I've hung out at the gear page and other places. And, I not by any means any kind of big voice in this sea of YouTube. I do see the negativity and what some call hate or haters when you're on forums. When a YouTuber comes up, oh, this guy's that and shilling that, or they have all this gear they got for free, how can you trust their opinion? All that kind of stuff. And man, some YouTubers really get just lambasted with negativity for, what I've seen. It's not really well founded. You like what you like, and if somebody doesn't like them, hey, that's them. But just some of the overall feeling I get it is very negative a lot of the times. I was reading a thread on the gear page just a day or two ago that was basically saying, are demos on YouTube even worth anything anymore? Okay, if you don't want to watch them, that's fine. You're probably still going to be watching them, by the way, whether you post that you are or not. If you're the type of person that is really engaging in those discussions, then yeah, you're the market for all of those gear videos and stuff like that. One of the main reasons I bring up Kyle Bull in his video is he said, I read a lot more of the comments, or I read all the comments, and also a lot of the stuff led me to believe he's seeing where people talk about him on forums and stuff like that. And, you know, a guy like that generally comes off as a really positive dude. And I think maybe some of the overall message he's seeing is kind of bumming him out. This is a guy that feeds his family on YouTube. Now, yeah, nobody has a claim or is owed anything by anybody, so I'm not trying to say, oh, because he has made this into his job that you know, you can't talk bad about him or whatever. Just another little tidbit about Kyle. He's got a lot of cool music gear, and he's been at this YouTube guitar game for a long time. If you follow him, he puts a lot of that gear that he makes videos about, he sells it on Instagram for screaming deals. He is giving back to his community. Are the discussions in YouTube comments and on forums and stuff like that are about YouTube videos, the channels, the demos, the guys doing them? Are they exploration and discussion leading to a true message we can take from said content? Or are they sometimes just people throwing out shade because they have a negative connotation associated with something, right or wrong? I think a lot of that could be what's going on. So let's think about this from a human nature perspective, and why that may be a reaction that's prevalent enough where it may even be the majority a lot of the times. I use myself as an example of your typical dude who's posting on a forum. I've got guitar gear that if I knew I would have all this when I was a teenager, I would be ecstatic. But, you know, as far as dreams go, it's not anything that's going to knock you out of your chair. I watch a YouTube channel, a large YouTube channel. The content creator has a wall full of heads of all the amps you could ever dream of. He's got guitars that I could only hope to save up for one day. And, you know, the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this guy doesn't even work a day job like me, man. You see how this creeps into your psyche. And then he's not even playing his tube amps. He's showing you a quad cortex profile. Okay, I'll stop. So the nature of that presentation alone can exploit some things that come naturally to us as a human that aren't the best side of us. And then if you dig deeper, in reality, that guy that's got all that stuff, he may have been posting for the better part of a decade and built up to that. If he was not getting views, by the way, you're watching him, that would not be possible. In no way is that person throwing anything in your face, and in no way is that hypothetical YouTube content creator doing something that you would not do if you were sitting in the same seat. I know I would. Not to say I would just accept free gear and shill, but if I were able to financially benefit from talking about a subject I love on YouTube, then I'd probably be buying a bunch of guitar stuff, and it'd probably be stacked up on my wall behind me. I think that's a big part of it, just that natural kind of slap in the face that we feel that really is more a reflection on us than it is the content creator. But it is a part of human nature that I think comes into play. Another very natural human reaction that I think contributes to negativity is that one guy syndrome. And that one guy is going to start the post or the response or comment. Well, actually, I've definitely been that one guy, probably more times than I would like to admit. And, basically it's you see something you inherently disagree with, or maybe you even have a very good argument why it's wrong. And by God, this is a hill you're going to climb and die on and put a soapbox on and let everybody else know that what was said is wrong and is an indictment on the individual that said it. You see, it can really get petty really quick when you engage in that. And like I said, I'm not immune from any of these elements of human nature myself. That is something you see a lot just on the internet in general, and when you get into something that can be, for whatever reason, as emotionally provocative as guitar, and how we really love and feel about everything associated with these things. So sometimes we go in hard when really it's not that big of a deal. So what do you do if you have a opinion that may be negative, or a correction to make, or some knowledge that could benefit others that are consuming the same content you are? Is this something where your negative comment is just so detrimental to the process that it's shouldn't be made? Of course not. That's not the society we live in, and it's, free speech and all that. But remember Dalton. I think you can say the same thing. And often if you pause, maybe you can be a little nicer about it. You don't have to be. You can be the most trolly, negative Nancy as you want to be, and call people out. But is that what you want to do? Do you get anything out of that? Does the people that also engaging in the discussion, what do they get out of it? Just sometimes if you just pause and think about what you have to say and how that would be the biggest contribution you can make, even if it is negative, you can probably dress it up in a manner that is more positive to the conversation and even going to be given more weight because you're putting it in a non-incendiary way where people are going to naturally think this is posted by a reasonable person that has something I may need to listen to and think about. And even the great YouTuber in the sky that you don't know, that may be something that helps them in the future. But when I look at a guy like Kyle Bull and I see where I think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it genuinely may be affecting a pretty positive dude that really puts out some great stuff and does so, in my opinion, without trying to shill for any company or anything like that. It's a little bit of a shame to me. There is the great philosopher Dalton, and he did say to be nice. So a pause and a thought of the great documentary on philosophy called Roadhouse, it may have a small positive change. That's it for this edition of Guitar Vacation, and I do not want to discourage anybody from roasting me with extreme prejudice. It's funny, and a lot of the times its roots are in the truth, and if it's on point, it may help me get better at guitar. Also, I will not respond with equal negativity. However, I am a collector of many obscure copy pastas, and I may respond with that just to entertain myself. It's not doing anybody else any good. I may have said this on a video before or in one of my live streams, but Hunter S. Thompson is my favorite writer, and this quote has been attributed to him, but it's also been modified to cover different subjects and argued that it was from him in the first place. Me being very familiar with how he wrote and his vernacular, I think it's definitely from him. But I am going to paraphrase it because some of the words may not be super YouTube friendly. But this is his quote on the music business, and I think it applies to the subject matter here. The music business is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and criminals run free and good men perish like dogs. There's also a negative side. That's an awesome quote. So I'll leave you with that. And as you enjoy your guitar vacation, and if that involves getting in a little mix up on a discussion board or in comments, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't hesitate to think about the great philosopher Dalton before you mash that send button. And also remember that there's a dude just like you that is going to receive the message as you sent it. And think about your contribution, and what that's going to manifest. We'll holler at you later.